In this video we're going to explore using the glow effect. So we're going to create like a neon sign that you'd get above a shop or something like that. So to get started, I'm going to go to shapes, I'm going to click on text, and I'm just going to scroll down here and type something appropriate in there. I'm just going to click in the front viewport to get that in there. Now I'm not happy with its fonts, it's not very tube-like, so let's change it to Cosmic Sans. Will probably be okay, it's better. And I'm just going to put a rectangle around it as well, bordering off the sign, like so. Okay, so there we have that. Now what I need to do is also go under the modify panel, and under rendering I want to enable it in renderer and enable it in the viewport, and I also want to increase the thickness of that a bit. I'm going to do the same to the text, increase the thickness there, like so, and there we have our sign. So now I'm going to open the material editor. I'm going to create, instead of a standard material, we're going to use a multi-sub object material. I can discard the old material, we don't need that. And I'm going to set the number of materials to 2, since we only have 2 assets in our scene. So the first material is just going to be a standard material, and we're going to set the color to red, and we'll assign that to our text. And what I need to do also is click on self-illumination and just drag the diffuse color into the self-illumination channel. I'm just going to copy that over, and I'm going to do the same with the outer border, which is going to be this material, which is going to be standard, and this time we'll make it blue, like so. And again we'll click self-illumination and drag that diffuse color over to self-illumination channel. So now we have this. I better assign that as well to there. Now why is this turned red? Well, the material ID here is set to 1. The blue material ID is set to 2. But by default Max sets everything as material ID 1. So we need to change this outer border here to material ID 2 to make it blue. So how do we do that? Well, we could just convert it to an editable poly, and then we'd have access to its material ID. Or we could, another non-destructive way of doing it is put on an editable poly modifier and just click on element, grab the whole shebang. We'll go down to material IDs and set it to 2. So now we have our sign colored correctly. So now we can go into rendering and effects. So in here I want to add a lens effect, and then I also want to move over that glow lens effect parameter. Make sure you clicked on that. So here we are in the effects. So what we need to do, because we've got 2 objects, it makes sense to use an object ID. So the object ID here is set at 1. So if we click on that and activate the object ID, we can right click on our object, go to object properties, and here it says gbuffer object ID, which is set to 0 as default. We'll set that to 1, and we'll do exactly the same once I get out of that. We'll do exactly the same with our text as well. Object ID of 1. Okay, so now if we render, we'll get a full blown out very blown out glow effect, which is not what we want, but it's a start. So under the parameters here, let's bring the size down. Well, let's first of all turn on interactive, and we'll just bring the size down about there or so, and you probably want to turn the intensity down to about 80 or so, I guess, for this. And then under lens effect global parameters, we can reduce the size to something that's more akin to what we need, like so. Maybe that's a little bit too much. Maybe that's about okay, or maybe 1.5 actually. Okay, so now we've got our glow, but it's white. Well, that's no good. So what we need to do is use source color, which means that it will glow with the color that we have set for any object's material. So we'll just ramp that up to 100, and as you can see here, we have our glow effect, which is correctly colored and actually looks quite good. So I'm quite pleased with that, and I hope you've learnt something, and thanks very much.